All right, everybody, welcome back to the Roots of Barbering YouTube channel. Back here with my uso. Uso means brother in my native Samoan language. My uso Gio, and we're following up on our last episode, which was talking about your purpose and why as to becoming a barber. So, what's the next step? You've identified your why. You've identified your purpose. You're sure this is what you want to do. So what's the next step from there? All right, so I'm going to bring Gio on. We're going to partner up and get to the meat and potatoes of what we think the next step would be. Well, that kind of reinforces what we said the last episode is that the majority percentage of your success in this industry is your personality, right? So, uh, you know, barbering. If you're interested in getting in as a barber, you have to start somewhere. If you go the apprenticeship route, you have to remember confidently that it's going to be about who you are as the person. You'll learn how to cut hair, right? You'll get taught that part of it. But as your person, your personality, when you come to a potential employer or barbershop, when you figure out this is the one that you really would like to work with, work at, like let them see your personality. Let them feel that your personality will be an asset to their team. Like in my shop, and I've taught them all, like I want them to show their 70% personality. Yeah, do it follow the blueprint of how we treat our customers so everything is consistent. But when the customer's in your chair, like that's your time to shine and build a relationship with that person, right? So same thing when you're coming new as an apprentice. If you're walking in my door or your door, show me your personality. Show me why you would be different than the others in a positive way, right? I read somewhere that it says it takes human beings like 7 to 10 seconds to make a first impression on site, right?
It's even less. It's
Yeah,
it's
less
in
than well, okay.
between
I
it's
would have
in between
okay. So
five
like
to
if you
eight
see
seconds.
somebody, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you see somebody and you're coming in and you're interested in a job and you got bad posture and you're not even dressed the part, right? As barbers, we're supposed to sell style. We sell confidence. We sell self-worth and image. If you don't own that and you come in to introduce yourself and I don't see it, my always first impression of you is going to be like, I don't care how much you smile, like you didn't make any effort. You didn't show me that you were really serious about coming in to have this discussion with me, right?
That's a good point, man. I think like even though when you're not even that confident, just put up an act, man. Just
If
it
I see
doesn't
if I see
matter,
like your willingness, right? If I see your eagerness and your willingness, and usually even if you're shy, when you're shy, like it tends to show a little bit more humility, right? I mean, yeah, don't come in and say like, oh, guess who's here? Oh, your new favorite barber is here. Don't do that. But if you come in with humility and grace and poise and confidence, even if you are shy and timid, like it'll show, like in just how your handshake, your manners, right? Yeah.
I think that's an important thing, manners as well. It isn't like you throw up a door or anything. No, man. It's but like you said, man, manners is so important, man. I mean, like words and values, man. Though, whew, man, you have it in your own culture. I have it in my own culture. We already brought up with that kind of thing. You have to show respect to get respect, right? And that's the same thing in a barbershop as well. It's kind of like the image that a lot of people have. Oh, those are tough guys, but a lot of people aren't tough, man. And it doesn't matter if you're tough or not. It's that little bit of kind of like openness, kindness, and vulnerability that you also can have for your customers, right? Because that little bit of vulnerability that opens up a gap between customer and you. Because if you open up, that customer open up, and then you create that bond with each other. So if you're an
Yeah.
apprentice, you have to have this confidence for you. Like, hey man,
Yeah.
I wanna do this, but I have to start from the bottom, man. Every job has that kind of route. And I think you cannot skip it from not brooming to cutting
Yeah,
hair,
yeah,
because there's a lot of steps in between. And I think if you try to skip things, probably you're not, you're not gonna make it.
yeah. No, I mean everything comes down to like having a good foundation, right? And if we look at the barbers of the 40s and 50s and 60s, you know, everything was fairly structured and uniformed in a barbershop. They had matching smocks, earlier in the 40s, it was white shirt, white tie with a white smock, black slacks, black shoes, right? Nicely cut hair. So, we've deviated a lot from that. And even in my shop, we're wearing the smocks now, the white smocks. But prior to that, it was the dress code that I had in place was it had to be a collared shirt, it had to be a fedora or a newsboy hat, but you couldn't wear a ball cap. You couldn't wear a beanie. No tennis shoes. Has to be either work boots or nice dress shoes, right? Um, because at some point it still has to present a professional image, right? And it may not be all wearing the same, but if they see that we're all the same in terms of our presentation of professionalism, that shows some sort of order and some kind of discipline happening in the shop. Now, today, yeah, you can be cutting in shorts, t-shirt, depending on what shop you're in, and that's not to say that that's bad or it's good. It's whatever shop, like we talked about earlier. If you find a shop that is your culture and that is what you're comfortable doing, and they're making their money, that's fine. If they give good service, that's even better. But you have to, like if we're talking about the impression of 7 seconds, right, or less, and we're talking about a lot of the tough guy or the bravado and masculinity and macho-ness of barbershops. If I'm an apprentice, brand new, and I'm coming in to present my best self, dressed well, with a resume in hand, and I walk in, and nobody in that barbershop greets me, or they look at me and they don't acknowledge me, and they just go back to cutting hair, or if I'm sitting there and nobody asks what I'm there for, that's not my barbershop. Because if they're not going to, yeah, yeah, because if you're not treated at least as a client, as good as a client will be, is that really where you want to end up learning and learning those bad habits and those bad customer service skills? It wouldn't be for me. And I wouldn't recommend it being for any new apprentice or aspiring barber.
No, I exactly agree with that one, man. It's yeah. You have that a lot, like, hey, people look at you like, hey, who are you, man? But I always try to be humble with that, because the thing is, it always comes back to you one time on the road, and you have the choice to do it right or wrong. And I always try to find the hard way, but the right way, right? It's easy to do the easy way, but for me, I kind of like what you said. Like, hey, man, the integrity of people, and the invitation
Yeah.
of people as well.
Because barbershop is supposed to be your neighborhood community meet. It's like the everyday common man's clubhouse. If you can't afford to go to pay for a membership at a clubhouse at the golf course, the barbershop over the years has traditionally been that for guys in the neighborhood. You come, you hang out. That's where you get your gossip, your news, your debate about everything. You can play some chess or some checkers, listen to some music, get a drink. So if you don't feel that, and the barbershop doesn't resonate with you with that, and you walk in and it's just cold and it's dark and everybody's like tough, that's not a barbershop to me, man. And again, we're not saying what we do is the right or wrong way, but for our kind of genre of barbering and the kind of barbering that I know works in uh, today's market and today's trade, for what customers are looking for now today. I mean, people are willing to spend more for an overall experience, and they'll pay you a little bit more for that, to feel like they're at home and to feel they're welcomed, and you remember their name and you say thank you and say please and hi and shake and hug, and um, it's a different brand of barbering, but I know it's a barbering that you and I have been able to succeed at because, yeah, we embody those things.
I kind of love that, because for me, it's personal, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, like, you greet somebody by the name, they like, huh? How does he know my
yeah,
name, man? But it's directly like, hey, man, yo. I back in the day, you always had to greet with, because in English you don't have that, you know, you don't got two separate words, you know, for older or elderly somebody. Here you
Yeah.
do. Here you
Okay.
have like you, and you have when you talk to an elderly woman or an individual, you say u, you know, you have you and you have u. But those two things are different things, right? You know, because you're is kind of like how, if you know people,
Yeah.
and the other part is like you want to be formal to people, right? Like, hey, and those things, I don't like them because
Yeah.
I'm a person and you are a person,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to give you everything what I have to offer, you know, to you. And I think you shouldn't be up here and somebody's here. No, everybody's the same, right? It doesn't matter how much money you make or you come from the gutter or anything. No, man, we're all human beings, right? So everybody has to be treated in the shop as equal and not somebody's here or somebody's there or whatever, yeah. And I think that's a good thing for people that start. Hey, man, you're not worse or
Yeah.
anything like you and me. I'm still an apprentice. I learn a lot, man. You know, I mean, like, there are some people, you know, that I see online. I'm like, yo, but
Yeah. Yeah.
online, I don't see a lot of things online that I think like, whoa, you know, I've seen a lot, but the thing is with now, I want to see how they work,
Yeah.
how they communicate, how they are in real life instead of on a picture. Or
And yeah, I think people need to be realistic in separating the two, right? There's two, in barbering, I think there's two things, one more important than the other. There's the service, personality, and community and relationship building side, and then there's the technical side, right? So the technical side, you can always improve, and you have to start from somewhere. None of us started barbering that knew how to do a fade from day one, you know. So that part you can always learn and get better at. And you can also get better at the personality stuff, but most of us already have that ingrained in us from when we were kids to where we are now, right? So hopefully, God willing, you're not an adult and you're a total asshole, like you know how to treat people. If you don't know how to treat people, barbering is not for you. Okay. Service is not for you, because it's hard to reprogram someone that's a dick or is an asshole all day, every day, and mean to people, right? But if you know how to hold a conversation, you know how to be a contributing person within a room without trying to dominate the room, if you know how to be genuinely caring and nice, like you already have a step ahead in barbering, right? So I think people need to ingrain that, new people coming into the trade. Like if you're an overall good person that knows how to be good to other people, you're already almost past halfway there because it's 70% is personality. So you're already ahead in the game. Then you just got to learn how to cut hair, and you'll get that. That just comes like more repetitions and muscle memory. But if you know how to be a good person, you're winning already. You know.
here's a
Mhm.
quote. Here's a quote from me. You know, don't be a rock star. Rock stars die early. Be the nice guy. They live for eternity, man. You
Like,
know.
man. You just make that up?
No, no, no.
Shit.
I always use it. Every time I go somewhere, you know,
Yeah.
I always say, you know what's going to happen, man, with rock stars, man. Either they go to the dope or to get drunk or just sit in the
Yeah. Die
gutter, you know.
before
They
their
got all
time.
the money they have and everything, but they're so unhappy, man. I'd rather have
Yeah.
nothing, be happy, you know,
Yeah.
and be a nice guy, die, and
Yeah.
everybody says, like, hey, man, you know what? That dude, you know, didn't
Yeah.
have no money, could cut hair, but he
Yeah.
was a nice guy, man, you know. And I
Yeah.
think if you want to have a legacy and everything, you rather have that, you know,
Yeah.
because that always will survive, man, you know.
Yeah.
And you cannot be, you know, here's the thing. You can be the technical guy as there is, but if you're an
Yeah.
asshole, you know, you always be an asshole, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you
Yeah.
know and if you are the best, you know. If you're an a-hole, you're an a-hole, you know. You
Yeah.
know, like you said.
Well, even what's the key too, also to remember is that even the most technical, skilled barber, the best that there ever was to cut, maybe Vidal Sassoon, whoever it is, even now in our generation of barbering, there's so many strongly technical barbers. But the consumer is not educated enough to see what's happening when they're getting their haircut.
Exactly.
They don't
Remember that,
educate it.
guys. Remember
Yeah,
that,
they're
man.
not educated. Their eyes are not trained to see the blend on how flawless it is. We are because we do it every day, and we see our coworkers do it, and we see our fellow barbers on Instagram do it. But the average customer that's paying you doesn't know the difference between your fade, that guy's fade. Some do, but like overall, no. So you can do 35 sections, and you can do as many little snips on with small scissors, shears versus one large snip. The customer doesn't know that. He or she just wants to be able to sit in your chair, feel appreciated, make them look better than when they came in, and keep it close to what their request was for their haircut. How you get from that, from when they walk in to when they walk out, that's up to you. But you have to remember the customer's looking for how they're treated more than they are, or the technical stuff you're doing that they can't even see or appreciate. That's important for people to
Yeah,
know.
yeah. That's a really good thing, man. Thanks a lot, man.
No problem.
I hope you guys, hear us, man. you know.
I don't want to do like 30 sections and then tell my client, okay, now put your head down so you can. I want you to see all my sections. He's like, I don't care, man. Just cut my hair,
Yeah,
damn it.
exactly. Yeah. But that's the thing, right?
Yeah. And not to say again, not to say that that's a bad thing. How you do your haircuts is how you do your haircut. As long as you get the results you feel that the customer really want. But don't lose yourself in trying to impress a client over technique that they don't understand, right?
Exactly, man. Some people just want to have a haircut, have a nice conversation, have a towel around their
Yeah.
wrap, and that's it.
Yeah.
Some people
And
don't
that's why
even
the
want
old
that.
that's how the old guys
Exactly.
thrived.
Yeah.
That's how the old
Yeah.
traditional barbers thrived.
Yeah.
Just basic haircut,
Yeah.
shoot the shit, talk stories,
Yeah.
you know.
And
I'll see
that's
you
the
next
funny
week.
thing.
Yeah, see you next week.
Yeah, that's how it is, right? Simple as that.
Yeah,
And I
man.
think for the newbies, I kind of like the apprentices or people who want to do things. Summary, man. Just give them their summary because you're better
Yeah,
at that
summary.
than me, man.
Summary. If you're looking to come the route of an apprentice, do your research on the shops. Go to Instagram. Go to their web pages. We suggest go even get a haircut. Get some service done with them, even the most cheapest service, so you can see how they would treat you with even the cheapest of their services. Right? Look at how they welcome their when you're sitting in that chair doing your research. How are they talking to one another? How do they talk to you? How do they welcome the clients? How do they say goodbye to the clients? What is the state of the shop? Is it clean? Is it dusty? Is it because this is where you potentially want to work, right? And as Gio touched on earlier, where you work has to be an extension of who you are as a person, the music, the culture, the style. In order for you to really invest the shop's investing in you, but you're investing in the shop too to be there to learn, but also to help them make money as you grow as well. And so if that takes a year, if that takes 2 years, it has to be a place where you feel like you will be at home because you'll be there probably more than you will be at your home, right? So yeah, be professional, like it's any other job, man. You should go in there dressed to impress, look to impress, as you would any other job. So
Thanks, people, man. Thanks a lot for watching. Hear us talk, and we hope to give you some values and some truths. And make sure you follow us here on Roots of Barbering on YouTube
yeah,
and even on Instagram. We're still there.
yeah.
you know?
And let us know. Let us know if you want us to talk about some stuff,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Comment below.
Comment. Yeah,
Comment on Instagram.
and
And then in the future, I hope to have a hat like Gio's that's got my name inside it. So right.
so hope to see you next time, guys. Peace, love,
Thank you,
peace, and
everybody.
happiness.
God bless. I
See
love
ya.
you, brother.
Bye bye. Yo.